bass. You know, one of the greatest places in the world to fish is an old rock quarry. If you can find one and get permission to fish on one. I've got a buddy in Missouri, Steve Tong, who has a quarry or two, and he lets me come and go fishing. And I'm hoping to catch some crappie today because Steve said him and his wife Christy wanted some crappie, but that's a pretty good bass right there. And so we're going to try to catch him a mess of crappie, and in the meantime, we're going to get to go fishing. Oh, me. One of the things, the reason that we picked this place, we were actually going to fish somewhere else today, and but the wind is blowing, Lord of mercy, you can look at the top of those trees, the wind is blowing 30 or 35 miles an hour, and it's pretty difficult just about anywhere else. And Steve said, you know, I've got a place that's got the big hole in the ground, got 30-foot walls on it. The wind won't be bad down there, and I said, let's go fish it. So that's exactly what we're doing. And I don't know what we're going to catch. We have no idea. But he said he thought there was some crappie in here. Yeah, Whitefish was down deep. He was down deep. I mean deep. Oh, look at that. Boy, one of the things about a quarry too is you got really, really clear water. Normally they're just really, really clear. Unless you fertilize them and do some stuff to change it, they're very, very clear. Getting us a new boat ramp built over there. That's another advantage about having somebody that owns a rock quarry. Talk about, you know a guy? I know a guy can build a boat ramp in just a little while. That is cool right there. That is cool. Yep, just a couple more loads. We'll have a nice boat ramp right there to load out on. Oh, do I have great friends or what? Need a boat ramp? No problem. Steve called about 2 minutes ago. It took about 2 minutes to get that load right there. About 2 minutes. Another bass. Our crappie fishing has turned into bass fishing. Turned into bass fishing. Well, he ate that Roadrunner. I mean, he ate that thing. I mean, pure ate it. One of the things about fishing a rock quarry is the structure is pretty simple. You're looking at all of it. Out in the middle of these things, I don't know really how deep it is. It's 18 feet right now, and my front of my boat is just not even a full cast away from the boat bank, like a half a cast away from the boat, and it's 18 feet. So the walls are just like you see them. You know, you get a little area like this. You know, this is a pretty good type area right here because it's a little bit shallower up there, closer to the bank in places. But a lot of it's just sheer walls, like what we fished so far. And when you fish the sheer wall like that, you just want to throw that Roadrunner out there and let it fall, let it fall, let it fall. Hits the bottom, move it a little bit, and let it fall again. And of course, you know, you can't fish this bait wrong as long as you fish it slow, or to be correct in your English, slowly. But this is one of those places for sure where you just don't want to turn your reel handle very much. Let it fall all the way to hit the bottom. Very, very seldom will you get hung up and lose a bait in one of these type places. Let it fall all the way to the bottom. There we go. Well, so much for a crappie fishing day. Yeah, so much for a crappie fishing day. Looks like bass fish, bass after bass after bass after bass. There's probably, to be honest with you, check, make sure there's a girl before I give her a kiss. Probably a little bit too many small bass in here. There ought to be some real giant bass in here too. We quite likely might get a hold of something that's like 5, 6, 7, 8 pounds. But you're probably not going to catch too many intermediate sized fish because this quarry basically is taking care of itself. In other words, there's no management, no fish management usually in a lot of these quarries now. You get some quarries that are really managed and they fertilize the water, they supplement the bait fish and add shad and stuff to them, and it's amazing how good they can get. They do a reclamation project on them, and when they do, they can turn into amazing, amazing fisheries. But a quarry that's taking care of itself will probably have a huge amount of fish in it. And these are tough conditions fishing this really, really clear water. Now we got a little cloud cover today, so that's good. And obviously we got a world of wind, but the wind's not affecting it much down here. But the ones that just kind of taking care of themselves is usually going to be overstocked with smaller bass. That's a little bit nicer bass right there. Just as I say, we're probably not going to catch different sized fish. we catch a pretty nice one. We catch a pretty nice one. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good fish there. The fish actually are pretty healthy, so they probably got a lot of crawfish in here. My guess, I've been watching, I haven't seen any of them that have a crawfish down in their mouth, but my guess is that they probably got quite a few crawfish in here. Crawfish love rocks, and these rocks in here are calcium. So that's the kind of rocks that you're looking at. This is the kind of oh, that's a pretty nice fish there. Pretty nice fish there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at there, there's one with him. Look at there, there's one with him. Look at that, look at that, look at that. There's another one with him. Just as big, maybe bigger. Says, give me some of that. Gotta get me some of that. Ooh, yeah, nice one. Whee! One more spin. Got you. I guess when I lose my, boy, there's just a ton of fish in here. I mean, that's good sugar too. See that little slide there? There's some rocks there instead of just a straight up and down bank. Oh, boy, I tell you, you set the hook on this little Camo combo rod. That feels good, good, good. I mean good. The little rod I'm using is only a $49 rod and reel, but it's a great rod and reel. I've caught hundreds and hundreds of fish on one, not had any problems with it. You can get them just about anywhere, Bass Pro Shop, Dick's, Walmart, Cabela's, they're just about everywhere. Oh, look at that. That's a nice fish right there. Now that fish there, that's a male. Somebody else has to give that thing some sugar, not me. Now, isn't it amazing? We're fishing a rock quarry and there's 30-mile-an-hour wind. We found a little hot area here, and where is it? It's where the wind is blowing into the bank. Isn't that something? Just like I mean, every cast, I made about 5 casts in a row, a windy shoreline where the wind's blowing up against the bank. Just like if you was fishing a 100,000-acre lake, same type pattern that we use all over the country. And all this is a little rock quarry. And yet that pattern, windy point, is paying off with just fish after fish after fish. Come here, baby. Another crappie or bass here. This one feels like a bass. Which that other one felt like a bass. It just turned out to be a nice crappie. I believe this is a bass. I'm gonna say bass. I'm gonna say I'm wrong again. That's a male crappie there. You see how black he is? In the springtime, it's early May here in Missouri. In the springtime, male crappie will turn black like that, and that's a nice big old beautiful crappie right there. That dude is a good one. We are gonna have some crappie fillets. That's pretty good when you do that one-handed. I cut my shirt. At least it wasn't my tongue. The crappie said, "That you can say that. I can't say that. It got my tongue." The only place I've caught crappie in the entire quarry is that one spot. I mean, one spot. There's another one too. Rock quarries can be absolutely fantastic places to fish, and the thing about it is there are literally thousands of them all over the United States. And here's what I'd recommend: is get on your computer and go to the Google Earth Maps, where you can get an aerial view of the areas that are around close to where you live, maybe areas within 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 miles of where you live, and you'll be able to spot these rock quarries. They're really pretty easy to spot. They'll have the big walls on them. They usually have a lot of gravel stacked around them because a quarry like this obviously has been abandoned for several years, and so they've got gravel, excess gravel that they simply didn't sell out of the quarries that will be stacked around. So you can use that Google Earth map and find out, and then all you got to do is just find out who owns that land and go down and ask permission to fish. And I always, when I'm asking permission to fish, will tell the guy, hey, if I catch a few fish, can I fillet them out for you? Do you and your wife like fish? And a lot of times, the people that own these quarries, some of them fish, some of them don't. But the ones that don't, they still like to eat fish. Now, here's the other thing. If you're going to fish quarries, what kind of Roadrunner would you use? First of all, I think I'd use a whitehead just about all the time. And I'd use the colors that are a little bit more of a ghost type pattern, a little bit more translucent. This little bait right here is a real good color. You can see it's just a little tiny shed color bait. And the bait that I caught a lot of them on today was this little sort of salt and pepper. Again, about the same bait, but add a little salt and pepper and a little bit silver flake to it. Now, color-wise, and I know it's not translucent, and I know it's not exactly what I just said, but black and chartreuse. It'll work just about anywhere you are, any place. Now, really, you can go to these kind of places late in the evening, early in the morning, rainy type days, dark, cloudy type days like we had tonight, or at night. Wonderful places to fish at night. Nighttime, take some topwater baits. Works well.